Welcome to the last Sunday. Cheers to you for coming out tonight and joining in the conversations that affect us all, no matter how big or small. We are here for last Sunday. Welcome to last Sunday. Welcome to last Sunday. The last Sunday.
Water. Do you think there'll be a time in our lifetime where we can't just have as much water whenever we want? Of course, sadly, there's many people in the world, many people in the world that don't have as much water whenever they want. There's many people in our country that don't have access to safe drinking water, in our province that don't have access to safe drinking water. Just last year, the Magpie River in Quebec was granted the legal rights of personhood. And just last week, courts awarded over $8 billion to hundreds of First Nations, thousands of people, to be compensated for their lack of fresh drinking water. Who has the right to water? What are the rights of water? We got thinking about this at Some Theatre, and that's why we decided to dedicate this entire episode of The Last Sunday to water. So let's have a round of applause for water. I am not Crystal Peterson, our season 5 host. Crystal is in Winnipeg performing on another project, but she's on the chat tonight. So wherever you are, if you're watching on the live stream provided by our friends here at 5x5, please say hello. Crystal is monitoring the chat. We'd love to know who you are and where you're watching from. It's so great to be here live at the refinery. We've got a great big studio audience, yeah. And later on in the program, we'll hear from our friends at Some Theatre Regina who are watching live at the Artesian in Regina. Thanks to the Red Cross who supplied us with a huge amount of rapid tests. Everyone on stage tonight has rapid tested just before coming on stage so we can all stop the spread through the Red Cross Stop the Spread program. And of course, we at Some Theatre always like to, with everything we do and everything we create, acknowledge our presence on this land. And to us, land acknowledgements, or maybe tonight, water acknowledgements, aren't just something we say like a turn off your cell phones announcement. We endeavor to make it a responsibility that we weave through everything we do. And we try to do that by speaking directly from our heart, and in the moment, say what it means for us to be here on this land, to be in relationship with this land and this water. And to me, in this moment, it means that we need to do everything we can to know each other and to know the land, so that we and the land and the water can live together in a better way in order to have relationship for as long as we can. And I can think of no better musician to continue that acknowledgement, to continue the story of water this evening, than our dear friend. If you remember seeing Little Badger in the Fire Spirit, any friends from Theatre in the Park, Little Badger in the Fire Spirit, yeah? Let's have a howl for Miss Chauganis, all the way from Sturgeon Lake, Brother Joseph Natauhau for our musical guest.
Thank you, Joel. Katamskat na rakyo. Neo magamigiskan giskapmotio. And my name is the spirit of the day guides me. That's what it means. So I wanted to start off with something gentle. So that's why I brought this flute here to start off nice and slow. Because water could be both, very gentle and also could be very stormy. And the word that came to me this last couple of days is wasi squan. Can you everybody say that? Wasi squan. After a storm, the sun comes, right? And that's how I think about this time of our lives, because this threatening, I guess you call it, place that we're in, sitting with the cold and all this, the COVID and all this, it's over soon. So wasi squan. So think about that, and I'll play a little song. I'll play a little flute, and I'm going to do a drum song. The flute song is in memory of Josephine Mandeman, who is an Anishinaabe woman who walked with the water. And you can hear her on YouTube, so this is a version of her song on flutes. I believe Marjorie will be singing a little bit of that later, but I'm going to do a ceremonial song. This is the time when we start our prayer songs for the summer. And I'm from the Chicken Dance Society and back home in Sturgeon Lake First Nation. I have an auntie that lives here, and lately she's been singing to my mom. She'll get up early in the morning, sing Waniska, for example, wake up, and then at nighttime, she'll sing my mother's honor song. Good night, Irene, good night. Because that's my mom's song. My mom's name is Irene. So this is a Peheo Simon Gamon. And I'll take this off here, even though I could honor it a rabbit. This is a rabbit hat, it's a very special hat. And this is a song that my father gave to Gordon Tutusas Nigarian Theater a number of years ago. And my daughter at that time sang this song in a play called A Ski, which is the earth. And so from the water song that I played on the flute to a sunrise song, this is a song that acknowledges a sunrise in the morning. So this would be a ceremony that'll happen this summer. So this is Peheo Simon Gamon. You could get up and dance if you want. Do your best chicken dance. It's a very simple dance. Sagawate cheke seke nata tagon aya Sagawate ke cheke seke nato tagon All right, thank you very much. Thank you for dancing, Marjorie. Have a good rest of the show, and I'll see you back in a few minutes here. I'll be telling a story.
Thank you, Joseph. Another round of applause for Joseph Naitauhau. Joseph, of course, a well-known storyteller across these lands, knowledge keeper, and he may be a chicken dancer, but he gives some of the best bear hugs around. A gentle, gentle soul. Thank you, Joseph. It's great to have you here for your first performance in the last Sunday, I believe. And I'm always curious to survey the audience here we have in studio. How many people is it your first time at the last Sunday? First timers? Yeah, a couple first timers. How many people have been here before? A round of applause. Yeah, make some noise. Excellent. Yeah. On the chat, please let us know if it's your first time watching, tuning in, how many times you've been. Anyone been here since season 1? Season 1, one person since season 1, 2, right on. Some hardcore sumsters in the audience. It's great to have you. Of course, we could not do what we do at Some Theatre without the generous support of our sponsors and funders who have been with us since season 1. That's people like Sask Arts, the Canada Council for the Arts, the City of Saskatoon, and the David Edney Fund for Theatre. How about a round of applause for those supporters, yeah? Dr. David Edney saw something he believed in the last Sunday, and I hope you're watching from home this evening, Dr. Edney. We truly appreciate you helping us connect different communities across the province. As people know who have tuned in last season and this season, it's been especially important as COVID-19 causes us to be apart, to have the live stream option. This is only possible because of Dr. Edney's generosity. And it's been wonderful for us to connect with different artists in Battleford, in Swift Current, in Regina, and in Prince Albert through our partner companies. Unfortunately, due to health and safety conditions, there's not a lot of gatherings going on in our partner communities, except for Some Theatre in Regina. We're gonna go live now to our Regina correspondent, Sarah Bergbush. Sarah, are you there at the Artesian?
Hi, Joel. Yes, I'm here.
Sarah, sounds like you've got a little bit of a crowd there at the Artesian.
Yes, we have some loyal audience members as well as some new audience members this month.
Right. I'd like to hear from the Artesian in Regina, I'd like to hear you make some noise if you love water. Sarah, I can't quite tell if they love water. What's your take?
Yeah, I think they do love water. We could get them to do it again and see if we can really show that they love water.
I'd like to hear the sound of water, though. We've got people who really love water in Regina. And Sarah, I understand that you've arranged, through your connections as Regina correspondent, in the Artesian tonight, you've arranged a very special guest, a celebrity of sorts from the Regina community.
Yes, so this month, on behalf of the Last Sunday and Some Theatre, I reached out to another event that happens called Swamp Fest. And we have a couple of special guests who are here to talk on behalf of sort of the leader of Swampfest, and we also have another expert who is going to come and have a conversation about water. So they'll come on stage in just a moment.
Excellent. Thank you, Sarah. Let's welcome our special guest here in Saskatoon. Let's welcome the folks in Regina.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Barbara Bogbush, and for those of you who do not know me, I have a PhD in sentient water beings communication. I am here today as a representative of the Saskatoon River Monster, and I have come here to Regina to speak to you on behalf of Saskatoon because this is a momentous occasion. The Saskatoon River Monster is an extremely reclusive and mysterious being, but today they have reached out to me and they have asked me to read a statement on behalf of them and speak to the leader, if you will, of Swampfest. And they will come out here in a minute and we will have a conversation of sorts. I have asked them to respond to the statement made by the Saskatoon River Monster. Now, this creature being, sentient water being that will come out, does not speak English. They have a special algal tongue that they speak, and I am fluent in the Saskatoon River Monster dialect, but my algal tongue is a little bit rusty, and usually we have an interpreter who comes with this being that will come out, but they were called away because it is thought that a new sentient water being has been discovered in Alberta, and they had to go there and do some interpreting there. So I will do my best tonight to interpret for this being, and let us welcome them out now. Let's give them a big round of applause. Welcome, welcome. Hello. So, first of all, your name is Tab. Now, could you tell us a little bit about what that means and what it stands for? And could you tell us a little bit about your origins, Tab? Oh, thank you very much. So, based on what you've told me and on my understanding, you were birthed when an accumulation of algal blooms of Wascana Lake and surrounding watershed gained sentience due to high toxicity and pollution in the waters. And your name, Tab, stands for Toxic Algae Blob. And so my next question for you, Tab, Toxic Algae Blob, is how long have you been a benevolent being from Wascana Lake? Very good, yes. So you first showed yourself in 2017 at the first Swampfest Music and Art Festival on Willow Island in Treaty 4, Regina, SK. They really did say all that. And in the first year, you, as you say, you were quite shy, just like the Saskatoon River Monster. But wow, you've really come out of your shell because you ran for mayoral office in 2020, is that correct? Yes, it is. Interesting. So, that leads me to my next question, which is, I've heard that Wascana Lake has extremely high levels of pollutants, and it is in fact an ecosystem at risk. And that is of particular interest to me, as because I have a PhD in sentient water beings. So, as elected mayor of Willow Island and its surrounding waterways, can you speak about your time in office and what you have done to respond to these high pollution levels? Okay, I think I'm understanding you. What you're saying is, as we all know, Wascana Lake is downstream from the city's sewage treatment plant, and as a result, has an extremely high level of pollutants, including phosphorus and pharmaceutical drugs. In fact, Wascana is one of the most polluted waterways in all of the country. But that is what enabled you to become sentient, so... And so now I would like to read the statement that the Saskatoon River Monster has made to you and invite you to respond to it. I, the Saskatoon River Monster, am reaching out to you, toxic algae blob, because I would like to commend you for your renown as mayor of Willow Island, and I'm just wondering if you had any tips for maintaining favor with the public and generating goodwill among humans and swampoids alike. I am shy, and so any tips would help. Sincerely, RM or Saskatoon River Monster. What do you have to say about that? How would you respond, Tab? Oh, yes, of course. Why didn't I think of that? Tab is saying that it is very important that relationships between humans and swampoids and sentient water beings and the like be reciprocal, be full of reciprocity, and to not try to contact them until they are ready. But in our next segment, we will show everybody here and from afar a method to contact and communicate with sentient water beings. And I ask, when we show you this special technique, that you all join in and learn and practice with us. You only need to stand up in your chair and join in with us. So that is what we will be talking about next. Thank you, and we'll be back shortly.
And thank you, Dr. Berg-Bush. Really appreciate the way you put it there, Tab. I couldn't have put it better myself. And if anyone has a response that they think they could get in contact with the River Monster, if you're watching from home and have a response to Tab's remarks from the River Monster, please feel free to voice what you think the River Monster would say back. And we'd love to get a dialogue going, a continued dialogue between the sentient beings of Saskatoon and Regina. Now, the next part of our evening is probably, well, I was about to say the most unpredictable, but after hearing from Tab, who knows? For those of you that have been to the last Sunday before, we sometimes have a ranter. And in the past, that's meant everything from people that do some poetry, that do a little bit of a rhyming beatboxing, spit cinnamon hearts all over the stage. The rant is something that we have no idea what it's going to be. And tonight we have one of the finest ranters in our province. Put your hands together for Saskatoon's own Peace a Cantare.
Hello, friends. Hi. So, a little bit of context before I start this rant, poem, thingy, rhythm, beat that I'm gonna do. There's a mixture of things. First, it's like an insert. So when I say my people, I think of Africans, I think of Nigerians, but I also want you guys to think of your people, your culture, your way of living, you know? And I also say Mr. Businessman, and that is because of I don't really like putting names to things, but if you can ever think of a corrupt politician, a corrupt government, someone that is in our province, that is that is doing something not so good, that's probably who I mean by Mr. Businessman. Maslow's hierarchy of need goes as such: self-actualization, esteem, love and belonging, safety, and psychological needs, in which water is included as the foundation. We can never know the essence of our heart without the security of food, air, shelter, and water, meaning we can never fully become in tune with ourselves without food, air, shelter, and water. Nature has shared custody of us, and Mr. Businessman is paying for our therapy, as if its existence is not a childhood trauma responsible for nightmare. Excuse me for being cynical, but as an idealist who has been hurt too many times, I will be critical of Mr. Businessman's attempt to preserve water. My people said water was life. My people said water was soul. My businessman said water was gold, not worth reserving for future generation. Water is security, is culture, is voice of reason. Listen, a duck's quack does not echo in an empty pond. A duck's quack does not echo in an empty pond. Water is the urn in which my grandparents fought to own. They taught me of the big man who used the water urn to seal off rebellious villagers, who did not conform to Western ideologies, who taught their culture should be preserved, therefore water should be preserved. My grandparents' village needed water in order to fight the man. The big man, he gave us one well. And soon, the preservation of culture could not feed hungry children. Yes, soon, the table full of air, food, water seemed more attractive, and our heart's sense, our sense of self was tied to the big man, Mr. Businessman. As if Earth decided which humans were worthy of basic necessity. We all need basic necessity, right? 20% of water was drilled before it could be filled. A duck's quack seems sweeter after knowing it might be the last. This, however, is not the end. But we are still humans. We are in debt to each other. And the debt collector always counts its money. My people, my friends, my fellow humans, stand fast in each other. Stand fast in the knowledge that water is stillness, is culture, is memory. We are water, and water is us. To preserve water is to preserve humankind. Thank you.
Yeah, let's do another round of applause for Peace. Thank you, Peace, for those words. The next portion of our evening is the 10-minute play. And for those that have attended or viewed last Sunday before, you know that every month we are commissioning this new work from a playwright in Saskatchewan. All the artists who you see on the stage tonight are paid. All the artists you see on the stage tonight are Saskatchewan artists. The play we like to refer to as the crown jewel of the evening, because we believe that not only should we be developing new plays in Saskatchewan, but we should be developing new playwrights. And we're grateful for the collaboration of Hardly Art Theatre that helps us bring this new play to the world every single month while we're doing Last Sunday. So it might just be the newest play in the world. The playwright is invited to respond to the theme of the month, and then we have a workshop with professional actors. I'd like to welcome to the stage Chris Krugiron and Danielle Spilchin. Please welcome the actors to the stage. And we're very pleased that this month's playwright, Rachel Walliser, is a Swift Currenter, or Swift Currentonian, or Swift Currenterite, if anyone can throw me a bone here. But great to have a playwright all the way from Swift Current writing for us. And without further ado, Dried Up by Rachel Walliser. Nadia is on the ground naked, barely conscious when Quinn walks by.
Hey, whoa, are you okay? Hello?
Quinn starts shaking Nadia.
Oh God, we can't find a body on this site too. Not like this, they'll kill me.
Quinn continues shaking and lightly slapping and tapping Nadia. Nadia can only take small, shallow breaths. Quinn takes off their coat and puts it on her.
Oh God, okay. Just try and nod or shake your head, okay? Are you okay? Do you need a doctor? What do you need?
Nadia struggles before weakly signaling at the lake.
Water? I don't have a water bottle on me, and that stuff isn't very clean.
Nadia continues pointing and signaling at the lake. Quinn lifts and sets her arms down beside the lake. Nadia struggles to the edge of the water and touches her lips, fingers, and toes to the water. With each touch, she becomes more alive.
Sorry, that's all I got for now, and even that'll be gone soon.
Nadia isn't really listening. She continues to struggle until her entire body is laying on the shallow water. She begins to start taking deep breaths.
Christ and crackers, you gave me a fright. I thought you were dead. It's one thing to find a dead body, it's another to find a naked dead body. You should wear that coat and keep yourself warm.
Nadia makes no move to wear it.
So, what are you doing in my swamp?
Swamp?
Shrek always does the trick.
This is not a swamp, and it is most definitely not yours.
Actually, it's the city's lake.
Who are you?
Quinn. You?
What did you mean by gone soon?
You didn't tell me your name.
Nadia. What did you mean?
Why are you naked?
What is happening to this water?
Wait, are you a nudist?
What is happening to my water?
So you are a nudist. Were you swimming?
No.
Are you okay, though? I feel like you might have swallowed too much of that water.
It'll be all right soon enough. I just need to stay here.
You won't get much peace here if that's what you're hoping for. I'm surprised our machines didn't wake you up sooner.
Machines?
Yeah. The city hired us to come out here today.
Who?
The city?
For what?
To drain it.
You can't do that.
Well, our contract says we have to. The city already sold it.
You must stop. This is my home.
What are you, a fish?
I wish.
A walrus, then?
Oh, I should be so lucky.
Look, it sucks. You won't be able to swim or fish or whatever it is that you do out here anymore, but we're not draining all the lakes. Not yet, anyways. Just move to the next one.
You are so simple. That's not how it works. I can't just move.
I'm sure the water will be cleaner at the next one.
There is no next one. This is my one.
Why are you so obsessed with this lake?
If you must know, I am a naiad.
Thought you said your name was Nadia.
It is.
Nadia the Naiad?
My mother had a sense of humor.
So, like, what is it?
A sense of humor?
A Naiad? Is it a kind of vegan? Oh, I see. You're one of those, like, nudist environmentalist types.
A naiad is a water nymph.
Like a fairy?
Nothing like a fairy.
You're pretty average looking for a mythical creature.
First of all, I am not mythical. Second of all, we mirror back to those who see us. As an average human, you see me as an average human.
So, why is this lake so special that it gets its own fairy?
I am not a fairy. And every body of water has its own naiad.
So why haven't I seen more of you?
You probably were not paying attention to us. We are with our water from the beginning. We protect each other. I can't imagine being anywhere else. Here, everything is as it should be. How the water ripples with a single touch, the way my body moves through it, the sound the rain makes when it gently drops on the surface. Even the smell of the lake is just faultless. There's nothing like it. Or at least it was.
Yeah, it's cool, I guess. But it's pretty cold and damp and it smells nasty.
Water doesn't have a taste or smell. It is what is around it that taints it. If it is taken care of, it thrives. Neglected, and it deteriorates.
It smells like you neglected it.
I care for what's underneath the water, not above it. What is that?
That's my team finishing the job.
Please, you have to stop. I need this. We need this water.
That seems a bit dramatic. I'm sure you won't die. How do I know you're not just some tripping hippie?
Trust me.
Why don't you prove it?
What proof do you...
I knew you drank too much lake water. Whoa. Your fingers aren't pruned. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Of course, they don't prune. I am not human.
You're so lucky. I hate when my fingers prune. I feel like the water is sucking my nutrients out of me.
Good.
How?
Have you considered that maybe it's payback? Humans suck all the water, all they want out of everything. So why shouldn't the water suck back? You abuse it and neglect it, but you use it for everything in your life. You use it for your food, clothes, medicine, buildings, travel, and your water. Over half of your planet and body is made of water. It was literally built your lives, and all you build is ways to control it. Who gets to claim this water as their own? Who said it could be sold and used? I didn't agree. The fish didn't. The water certainly didn't. Who gives you the authority to say we belong to you?
Is there anything I can do?
Leave us alone.
Me?
All of you.
Let me stay.
And watch.
And make you comfortable.
You're selfish.
What?
All that matters to you is what the water can do for you and how much you need, while the rest of us suffer. You're killing much more than just me.
It wasn't my choice.
It wasn't your fight either.
Nadia continues to struggle. Quinn gathers various trash containers like cups and bags and fills them up with the lake water. He arranges them for her to reach. Nadia slips her fingers into the containers.
Why? Why are you doing this?
They need the water.
More than us? For what?
They sold it.
To who?
Some corp. They need it to run their machines or something.
They don't have their own water to dry up.
They used to. Look, it's too late anyways. They're almost done. There's nothing I could do even if I wanted to. Wait, what's happening to your skin?
Please leave.
It's like it's gonna fall off. Tell me what I can do.
Just leave.
Wait, how much longer can you hold out?
Not much. Why?
I know you can't move, but what if I move you?
I can't go to another.
I get that now, but what if I make a lake?
How?
In the winter, I keep my koi fish in a kiddie pool in the basement. I could just make it bigger so it's like your lake. I'm
not your pet.
No, it'd be different. I could take some of the lake water from the trucks.
The fish?
The fish will come too.
I need the plants.
Sure, and the plants.
The bacteria too.
Yes, everything. I'll make my home theirs.
No, it wouldn't work. We'd rather die here than spend the rest of our lives trapped in your basement.
I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm doing this to save your life.
You drank this lake. And you'll do it again.
How could I have known? I didn't know. Look, just stay here and I'll run to my truck and get the water and get my basement ready and come grab you and...
You have the power to change more than you think, Quinn.
What if I don't?
You must.
And how?
Stop working for them. Stop protecting them. Protect us.
As the final drops of water are drained from the lake, so does the life from Nadia's being, leaving her body dried up and cracked on the shore. Blackout. Dried Up by Rachel Walliser. Danielle Spilchin and Chris Krugire. If you're out there in the audience here or in Regina or watching online and you have a play that you'd like to write, if you have a rant you'd like to do, if you have a song you'd like to sing or something else that we haven't even thought of in the last Sunday, please get in touch with us via our website, sometheater.com, through the contact form. We would love to hear your ideas about what you want to do in response to our themes. Each month on our social media, we put out the theme for the month and would love to have artistic responses to the theme. We want to see the current events of this province, this world, through your eyes. And now, without further ado, I'm just hearing again from Regina. It sounds like we've got another opportunity to engage with Tab. Tab and Dr. Bergbush, are you there?
Yes, thank you, Joel. It is I, Dr. Bogbush. I'm here. So, as promised, we were going to explore some ways of communication with sentient water beings. Now, based on my research and my conversations with Toxic Algae Blob, who will join us on stage in a moment, the most effective and joyful way to communicate with sentient water beings and to generate goodwill is through dancing. Now, I have prepared, along with Swamfest, a video that we can all watch together and learn the best dancing for to communicate with sentient water beings. Now, this specific dance was, I believe, created by and for Toxic Algae Blob, but it is my theory that it will also work to summon the Saskatoon River Monster when the Saskatoon River Monster is ready. So, I will go and get Tab, and in the meantime, everybody please get to your feet and get ready. Stay in your spot once you get to your feet, but get ready to do a little bit of communicating through dance. So if everybody could stand up, either in Saskatoon or Regina, that would be excellent, and I will go and get Tab. All right, so this This song and dance was created by the popular band, the Garys, and without further ado, we will teach you all how to dance and invite you to move with us. All right, thank you very much, everybody, for participating in that potent method of communication. And next time you go by the river in Saskatoon, think about whether it's time to communicate with the Saskatoon River Monster. Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Barbara Bogbush. Goodbye.
Thank you, Dr. Bogbush. And thank you for communicating with Tab. And tomorrow, wherever you are, at the office, talking to your family or friends, I look forward to hearing how you describe what you did tonight here to people and how you find the words for that. Tab, looking forward to having you back on the program again someday. Maybe we can reach out to the River Monster here and have some contact. Next, I'd like to welcome to the stage someone with decades of experience in art and artivism, a filmmaker, a teacher, a water walker. Joining us for tonight's interview, please put your hands together for Marjorie Bocage.
I come from the stars. No.
Thank you for being here tonight. Yeah. Now, when we reached out to you to see if you'd be willing to be tonight's interviewee, we explained that we used to call this the hot seat interview because we jump around, but now we call it the interview. But I understand from my colleague Crystal Peterson that you responded, "Oh, it'll be a hot seat if I'm sitting in it." Yeah. Fact check, did you say that?
I did.
You did.
But it's cool.
We're cool.
Yeah.
We're cool. I like to start off with just a simple question, or maybe it's not so simple, but can you say the words water is, and then take that thought wherever you'd like?
We know what it is. It's life. It's all our lives. And I mean, everything that's happened here tonight, it just made me think about that even more, and how to talk to the river and how to talk to the water. We do that for the water through ceremony. That's what the water walks are about, helping the water.
Thank you.
Helping that creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the water spirits, yeah.
I'd like to get back to the water walks in a second, but
Yeah.
could I give you another open-ended thought?
Sure.
Could you say the words water isn't? And take that thought wherever you'd like?
I never thought of that.
Told you it was going to be a hot seat.
Water isn't for sale. Water is not a resource.
Thank you. You describe yourself as an artivist, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So when, like, at what point in your life, can you remember when you were like, yeah, I want to be an artivist? Was it like, age 3, 4?
No, it's not something you become. It's just part of you, questioning life and trying to find ways to express it. That's what I think it is. Art is not a thing. It's like water. It's life. It's something that comes from you. It's creation.
How do you know what to create?
By being there in the moment. Like, it's all about being there. That's what I've learned over my life, is when you're running around too much and trying to do things or make things happen, you just wear yourself out. And now, I just turned 75 this week, and yeah,
Happy birthday.
Thank you. But
If you would have told us before, we would have had a cake, but you just
that's
drop it
okay.
right now.
That's okay. I had a lot of cake already.
You did? Do you want some water?
No. Yeah. But it gives you perspective, and like I was looking back over my life this weekend, and I'm grateful for it. And then I'm thinking, like, now it's just mostly just being whatever is happening right now. I'm not anywhere else. I'm here with you, feeling what I'm feeling, living what I'm living.
I mean, it sounds good, but how do you just be with all that's going on in the world? Can you give us a little bit of
Well, it's part of it. Like, it's part of it. Like when we were, let's say when I was walking.
Yeah.
Because that's how we move through the world in different ways. But let's say you're walking through, whatever you see, whatever you're breathing, whatever you hear, it all comes in that moment. And it comes from all over, so it has effects on you. And that's how, like, we're all connected and related with everything around us, each moment. And those vibrations in the universe that we feel from that sound or from that being or that person or that machine or whatever, that's all part of the moment. So we're connected to it. How do you respond to it? How do you move through it? Does it belong to you? Do you move ahead? Do you move back? Do you stop?
You talked about the water walks at the beginning. Could you share us a little bit? What was your experience doing the recent water walk?
Well, we were called to walk for the Saskatchewan River. This river that we're talking about tonight, where we are sitting, needs our help. I mean, and so Grandmother Josephine Mandaman, that Joseph referred to at the beginning, she passed 2 years ago. she's been walking for the water for 17 years. She walked all around each Great Lake twice. She walked the St. Lawrence River. She walked the Mississippi River, the Ohio River, and many other bodies of water in those 17 years. Every year she chose one and did it.
And does that mean when you're walking the river, you're walking the length of the river, or is there something?
Yeah, the length
what
of
what
it,
do you do?
or around it, or whatever.
Right.
And it's a ceremony where you praying for that water, and you're giving it love, and you're giving it respect and gratitude. And there's been science, I forget his name, this Japanese scientist who did those experiments with water crystals, and when they were talked to with love, those crystals physically changed. They photographed them before and after. We can change the water, we can make it come back to life if we choose to put our intentions towards that. And that walking for the water, that's what you do all day. Like we started in the headwaters in where the Saskatchewan crossing, where the river begins. It's near Kootenay Plains in the mountains. And this last year, we walked all the way to Prince Albert, where the Saskatchewan River forks into north and south.
That's a long walk.
It was 1,938 kilometers, and it took us 38 days. Yeah.
Did you ever get to the point where you thought you might stop?
No, I'm doing it for the water, and you go, because that's what we do. There's lots of times when you can't stop. Like the water carries you and you carry it. Like we're carrying water as we walk, and we can't stop. That's part of the ceremony, is to keep the water flowing. It's like a relay. We pass it along and pray for it as we do, or sing to it. Or when we walked through the prairies last year, it was a drought, and a bad drought. Even in the mountains, it was a drought. And because of the forest fires before and all of that, the bears, the animals, they had nothing to eat. They were skinny. They were their skin was hanging off them, and they're supposed to be fattening up for winter. Walked through the prairies, I saw a beaver dam with no water around it. It was so dry. The farmers would stop us and ask us, what are we doing? And we told them, and they would say, oh, thank you, because they know their animals had no pasture. Their ponds and dugouts were drying out. It's pretty serious what's happening with the climate right now. Then you hear talks about atmospheric rivers and all these different things that are changing in BC and all across the land, and all over there's all these weather things that's all water related. And somebody mentioned earlier, but as long as the waters flow, well, it's not long if we don't do anything. And there won't be no treaties if we go as long as the waters flow.
Good point.
Or the sun shines, for that matter.
The grass grows. We always like to leave time for questions. So if you have a question, just put your hand up here. Or if you have a question in Regina at the Artesian, flag down Sarah Bergbush, and we can ask the question to our interview subject here. If you have a question online, please put it in the chat, and Crystal Peterson is monitoring the chat. Crystal will text Mac, who will read the question out here in studio. So any questions at this time from anyone in the audience, either in Saskatoon, Regina, or on the chat? Yes?
What's your this year's adventure archery?
Oh, we have to continue to walk. We're not finished.
I'm just going to repeat the question just for the people watching online. What is this year's adventure, was the question from the audience.
We start where we left off at the Forks in Prince Albert, and probably the South Saskatchewan, So, or maybe the north to Lake Winnipeg, that's where the river ends there, or the South Saskatchewan goes back to the mountains where we started. We're still figuring that out.
Yeah. Any other questions at this time? How do you, yes, in the front.
Without ceremony, but by ourselves, what can we do to help the water?
I'll just repeat the question for those watching online and in Regina. Without ceremony, but by ourselves, individually, what can we do to help the water?
Lots. Well, you can go to the river and talk to it and thank it yourself anytime, but also how you use water, when you use water, to acknowledge it as your life. Say, water, we thank you. Water, we love you. Water, we respect you. That's a song that we sang for the water. And to do that with every time you use water, you're changing your relationship to the water, and to say thank you, you know, and to look at how you use it or waste it. Plastic, you know, how to keep it clean. Whenever you see garbage, you pick it up. We picked up a lot of garbage around the waterways as we walked too. Keep it clean as best you can. Don't put anything in it.
Thank you. Yeah. We have time for one or two more questions. Yes, online, Mac.
Is there info online about the water walk or how to get involved?
Is there info online about the water walk, how to get involved? How can one get involved in the water walk?
Yeah, we had a Facebook page last year for the 2021 Saskatchewan River Water Walk. We'll have one again this year. And that one's still up, but there will be posts on Facebook for just look up Saskatchewan River Water Walk 2022.
Water, brought to you by Facebook. Anyone else with a question either here or in Regina? Yes, in the front.
Marjorie, I'm so delighted to hear your comment about being rather than doing. I'm almost 75.
Almost happy birthday.
Yeah. It's not either or. It's not being or doing. But being is doing.
Did you have a question?
That's helpful. Because I wanted to invite you to say more if you had more to say about that. Because I think it's when you're not approaching 75, when you're much younger than 75, and I think this is an idea that, in my experience, grows as we age. So I just wondered if there's any other picking of your understanding of that.
I'll just repeat the question for those online and in Regina. More elaboration about the idea of being, not just doing, but being, and what that means, and how we can think about that in a different way.
Be where you are. I mean, we're so connected to machines that we're not with each other anymore. Like for me, being is being in relationship with whatever is going on, wherever you are. So whether it's with a tree or the water or a person, be there. 100%. Don't be anywhere else. Don't be where you just came from. Don't be where you're going. That is the best way to live in the moment. And it will guide you to what the next thing will be. Like, or you will respond. Like that is, to me, the hardest thing to learn, but the most important thing to learn. I mean, that's living. You know, in the now is living. Children do it naturally, but why do we lose it and it becomes so institutionalized towards work? Our being becomes doing, because time is money, and you spend your time to earn money, you know, like that whole capitalist system that has created doing as more important than being. That is why we're the way we are, because we don't be. We're human beings, not human doings.
You talk about being, you talk about capitalist systems, you talk about beaver dams with no water and bears with skin hanging off them. In this current moment, this challenging moment for water, for the climate. What gives you hope?
It gives me hope that there's the young people give me hope because they are standing up to all those powers that be more and more, and they are using their voice more and more. They're not afraid to be who they are and to speak their truth in that moment. So that gives me hope. They're the future I've been waiting for.
Marjorie Bocage. Thank you, Marjorie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to sing the water song. It only takes a minute, and it's online too, but I feel like I need to sing it right now. Nibe giza geiko Gimme gwechawe ne we go Giza we ne we go. Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. Another round of applause for Marjorie. Thank you. We're almost at the end of our episode. If you would like to extend your knowledge about tonight's topic, we have an exciting partnership here in Saskatoon with the Saskatoon Public Library. Every month, we give the librarians at the Saskatoon Public Library our theme, our topic for the month, and they curate a reading list of books and audio material related to the topic. So you can access that recommended reading list via the Saskatoon Library website. We also have a link posted on our website if you're interested on reading more about water or any other topic we cover. And before we end off this evening, is there anyone that would like to hear another song and maybe a story from Joseph Netauhau? Yeah? Joseph, do you have any words and songs left in you there? Yeah? Joseph Netauhau, twist his rubber arm. Let's welcome him back to the stage. Yeah.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Marjorie. Awesome. Thank you, some theater. Brought my toys along, my sacred objects, and like a few years ago, I went to Batoche. So mentoring with Maria Campbell. And she shared, a lot of teachings there by bringing a couple from down east, Christy Belcourt, and I can't remember the other gentleman's name at the moment. Isaac, yeah. And they brought water teachings to us. And they actually passed on the ceremony to us here in this territory, which is a gift, which is what happens in, I guess, on this land, right, And I wanted to share a little bit about that. I went to that ceremony, and it involved young people. The young people were the ones who made these little sacred bundles. And it was young people who walked these sacred bundles to the water. And it was the singers, like myself, who sang them all the way down from Maria's cabin there, log house on Gabriel's Crossing there. And they walked, and people were singing all the way down. Any song they could think of that was an honor song, water song, Thunderbird song, those sort of songs. So I sang along, and we just walked in a procession, like one after the other. It was about a half day it took to prepare for that ceremony. And when we got to the water, we just watched the young people take off their socks. They had to walk right into the water to make these offerings. I remember putting something with the offering, and you could put a little amulet or a little jewelry or something that you valued, and they tied it together and they would sink it into the water. Saskatchewan CP, as we call it. And when they arrived at the water and we were watching them, and the songs were complete, there was a prayer. And then they told us, don't look back. As soon as the water is honored, Sawim goes to, sky, sometimes go to Stotaman, so it's like young people were, given a blessing by doing that. They're the next generation. They have to live with today's water situation, the status. So they walked into the water, and then we all turned around, and we dared not look back. Of course, you're always tempted, right? But we listened to the elders. And we just walked back to the cabin and for a little feed, a little feast. And that night, it goes somewhere, and I went to bed, in deep thought. Not really questioning, but wondering. I'm sure, it'll be beautiful, and the water will be aided and helped, That's what I was thinking. All of a sudden, I'm transported into a Pawatamoan dreamland. I spin, I was climbing up the side of this hill in this little small village. And I was going right to the top. There was a diving board up there. I was going to dive down into the Saskatchewan River, which I wouldn't dare swim sometimes. It's pretty compromised. So there I am up in the diving board, and I look down, and what do I see? I see the LJ blob, like thousands of LJ. Like it was all foamed up and on top of the water. It's like, am I going to dive into that? But when you're in dream, everything is all clear. What has to be done? All of a sudden, I jump off the diving board, and there I'm going right into that blob of algae and pollution, polluted water, our sacred water. I spin the gookian right through that foamy, disgusting. Anyway, and I went through, and guess what? Under all that quagmire, pollution, perfectly clear water. The water is absolutely clear, like crystal clear. And there, I was swimming. Now I'm looking for an opening. I didn't want to come up through that blob. I didn't want to come up through there. And so there I am swimming, looking for, and of course I can see, right? I can see. And sure enough, there was an opening. There was a ceremony that happened the day before. I created this opening, and I went, and I just, and I appeared from on top of this perfectly clear water. So I saw the truth of how effective ceremony, young people, community can help. I saw the truth of how we can help. We can actually contribute towards the cleaning of the water. It's really compromised. I was just talking to my sister back there, Margaret, and she says the most compromised water that we have right now is South Saskatchewan, right? South Saskatchewan River is very compromised. And I see people out there boating and fishing, and man, I don't want to see them after they eat the fish. So with that, I thought I would teach you a little I'm just going to improvise a little bit. This is theater after all, right? We're in a stage here, and anything is open to. And I was taught by the best, Joel Birnbaum, all these Gordon Tatusis, all these great actors, and Tattoo Cardinal. I met all these great actors and been around. And so, everybody say a skok. CP. Epip joak. Epim joak. A skok means for as long river flows. There's no vowels, It's just, you just say it, right? For as long river flows. So, for as long as the river flows. So, eskok, one more time. Pisem. Kapisaki wheat. For as long as the sun appears. So we got to have the opposite, right? You got to have that as well. And the last thing is kikawi noeski. Eskok. Maskusia. Isakikike. For as long as the grass grows. Not sure how long that is. It was pretty tough last year. Right, Marjorie? And some of the rivers have dried up, some of the little tributaries. So this is what I came up with today. I was just working with this. There's no song. There's a treaty song. And then that's a very famous 3-line phrase that was created from the Treaty 6 territory by someone, an elder from one of our ancestors came up with that. It says, how long do you want the treaty to last? Well, as long as the river flows, I suppose would be a good idea, and the sun comes up and the grass grows. And next thing, it's part of the contract, it's part of the agreement. So we're here together, we gotta maintain our water. So we are all responsible for it. Esko sipi epemechuak esko pisem kapisaki weed eskok maskosia Sing along. Eskok sipi epemechuak eskok pisem kapisaki wheat eskok maskosia Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joseph. And thank you all for being here, whether you were being here in Saskatoon live at the refinery, in Regina at the Artesian, or somewhere around Saskatchewan watching online. We're going to roll Crystal Peterson's beautiful Last Sunday theme song in a second. And while that's happening, we encourage you, as we always do at the very end of any Some Theater play or performance, to meet someone who you've never met before. And we used to say, go up and shake their hand and say hello. And obviously, because of health and safety concerns right now, we're not going to judge you if you don't want to get too close to someone. But one thing is important. During this COVID times, we know it's very challenging to connect with people. And it's even more challenging to not connect with people. So I encourage you to meet someone, whether you're at the Artesian in Regina, whether you're here in Saskatoon, or online, if you want to just introduce yourself online, meet someone who you've never met before, because that is how we build stronger communities, and that is how we stay strong together, by knowing each other and by being in relationship with each other. So join us again next month, February, for the last Sunday. People always ask, what day is it? And it's embedded in the title. The last Sunday of every month. Thank you for being here tonight. Please meet someone you've never met before, and give a round of applause for all the artists this evening.
Now here we are at the end of the evening. Thanks for coming to the show. We'll see you next time at Last Sunday. Now get home safe. We will see